Dan, thanks for taking the time to join us this afternoon. Let's start, I guess, with the breaking news from the government this week that after 9 months, supporters will be gradually allowed back into the stadia. What's your take on that?
There's a bit of fear, I think, a bit of trepidation, and some excitement as well. I mean, it's no secret, is it, that I've been very safety conscious, and I've always felt, it's very, very important that, we needed to keep the staff and the players and the supporters safe. And I suppose this is the first real big challenge with the supporters coming into the ground since lockdown. So we've got a bit of time, and I think it's a gradual process. But we'll be ready for our first home game, which I think is probably December 12th. Is it Aldershot?
Correct, yes.
Okay.
In terms of safety measures, I myself obviously been lucky enough to attend these games behind closed doors, and I can see everything that's gone on behind the scenes to make sure that all the safety measures are in place, from first team officials, support directors, those that are attending the club. And again, you've gone to extra strengths and measures for the supporters to make sure that when they return to say that they're going to be kept safe and hopefully healthy.
Well, I think we was probably all slightly surprised when government made the announcement, especially the sort of 2,000, 50% of the stadium capacity, whatever's the fewest. We don't feel comfortable with that figure. So we've decided, after consultation with my COVID manager and safety officer, that we'll probably set the figure around about 1,000. We'll need to get approval from the local authority again, but we've already got a figure which had been approved earlier in the summer, when it looked as if we were going to have crowds back in October. So as long as all those things all tally up, we'll be ready to go. Again, I've got meetings with our stewarding company. We know we're going to open up extra gates to make sure that the queues are all very manageable. And the rest of it, there'll be marked seats for people to sit on. Again, family bubbles will no doubt, go to their normal positions. Again, we already know through the data that a lot of the infections passed on through shouting and singing and that type of thing. So that's a worry. But government have said they feel it's safe. They're the best medical minds are guiding us. So my job is to make sure that we bring people here in a safe environment, we ensure they have their masks on, and the excitement comes is we get the fans back, and and after this amount of time, we've missed them hugely, and I think the team could do with a real lift, and they'll give them that.
That was my next question. Next, I was saying one of the people, I guess, that will be most pleased supporters will be back will be the players, and the vocal backing they get from the North Bank.
Yeah, I think we'd all get a lift. A lot of them people on the terraces have been my pals for 50 years. We travelled all over the country watching our respective teams from when we were small kids. So to have them all back here and and all part of this club again is huge. I mean, we've got to the second round of the FA Cup with no fans, so that's been really strange. We had probably one of the most exciting games you'll ever see down here against Southend. I mean, we won it once at 2-0. We then went to 2-2. We should have got beat. We then went 3-2 up. We thought we had it won again and blew it. We didn't have penalties, went behind in the penalties until we finally came through. But there was no fans in the ground, and I can honestly say I think if we'd have had 2,000 in the ground that day, it'd probably be the greatest game that's ever been played there. But there was something missing, and about something, it's the supporters. So no, we'll make things as safe as we can. We'll get them in the ground. We won't shovel them in. We'll get them in. We'll make sure, you know, that we run ourselves properly, and we'll do what's right for the community, and, you know, with a social responsibility, and that's how we'll go about our business.
On the FA Cup, it's certainly been a high point for the club this year. In terms of the league, I don't think it would have been the start you probably expected. 9 points from 9 games. How do you assess the start of the season?
FA Cup, I don't budget for a run in the FA Cup because financially I think you're foolish if you're, as a chairman, to do that. In terms of the league, I sort of see I see a bigger picture than 9 games and 9 points. I look at it, and, you know, whether this is how I would feel if this was, say, this time last season. I think I may see things differently, but you can't take away, you know, what's gone on. You can't take away from a pandemic. You can't take away from no crowds. You can't take away from how the youngsters react, you know, with nobody in the ground, or you know, there's issues which we have to be very, very careful of. We need to be very, very careful of the type of things that perhaps can be written when we're dealing with, you know, youngsters' mental health. I mean, as you could imagine, with our strikers and our youngsters, whether it's Sulba or Cabby or young Kane, this time last year, the boys were all having breakfast together, having lunch together. They were in the dressing rooms, and the banter was there. They were going down. You know, we had nights out. You know, this is all alien. So 9 points, 9 games. I suppose, you know, I do take solace that we're a small club. Perhaps the expectations of some are maybe a little bit, you know, a little bit heavy at times, but, you know, this is a great club, and I've got no problems or worries about where we're going to be come May. I think we've got the 2nd or 3rd best defensive record in the league. We perhaps haven't taken our chances. We weren't particularly great on Saturday against Altrincham, but, you know, they came here, they played well. It had 0-0 written all over it, unless Sulba sort of created a little bit of magic, which he nearly did when he hit the bar. So, you know, we win that game. We scored a penalty against Dagenham, and, you know, things can look slightly different. The one thing after all these years, I mean, this is my 22nd season, is sometimes you just need to be patient. You just need to look at things for what they are. There's not a lot wrong. There's not a lot wrong that a few fans in the ground and a bit of energy. You know, let's be honest, if we can go to Canby next Monday, get a few of the injured players back, then suddenly a week's a lifetime in football. Everybody knows that, you know. And as you can see, you know, this time last year, some people pressed the panic button, you know. I mean, a friend of mine at Fylde, he pressed the panic button, and, you know, they're in the Conference North now. You know, that same manager is doing okay. The manager that he got rid of, Dave Challoner, he's doing well at Hartlepool. But this is a hard league. You know, whether you're playing Altrincham, you're playing Dover, you're playing Wrexham, you're playing Notts County. Everyone beats everybody. So yeah, would I like more goals? Yeah. Would we like a few more points on the board? Yeah. But in life, you don't always get everything you want. You have to fight for that. You have to work hard for that, and that's what we'll do. We're a great underdog club. We'll keep working hard, and if you do, as I've always said, God loves a trier, and we'll come through it, and we'll be stronger for it. But it's very, very important that I back my staff, I back my players, I ensure that my supporters who come into this ground, you know, their safety becomes a priority. Because whatever we've done here, we've done together. And I've got so many good, you know, friends on the terraces, old school supporters, been with me every step of the way. So yeah, so, you know, maybe for some of the newer supporters, they just need to be a little bit more patient. They bring great energy when they're on that North Bank, which I adore. But as always, you know, with instant news and the way people perceive things now, you know, in the world, you know, we can't always have instant success. We're not Man United. You know, if this was the Premier League, then, you know, we're more Sheffield United, and they had a great season last year, and they're rock bottom this year. And you saw what happened to that so-called England manager and the Bournemouth boy. He's now not got a job, and Bournemouth are in the Championship. So we'll be very careful what we wish for and where we think we should be. We're still a very, very small club at National League level. In fact, the smallest club possibly at National League level, support-wise. But we're not the smallest in terms of infrastructure with what we've built and what we're about to build. And so we've got to be very, very, you know, assured that, you know, there'll be no changes, there'll be no impatience here. I've got a fantastic young manager. I've got a great and very great staff that's talented, and as I say, I've got very loyal supporters, and you know, so there's an awful lot of pluses before I start thinking about the negatives.
And as you say, pluses, you're one to always try and create positive energy. But recently, you know, some supporters have voiced their frustrations online with the lack of wins, the lack of goals, poor performances. How does that negativity affect like yourself, Luke, and the players?
How does it affect me? It doesn't. I take it on board. I'm not quite so sure about the poor performances. I saw us go to Wrexham and I saw us batter them. And if we'd scored when we should have done, we'd have been 3 up before, you know, the 15th minute. But we didn't take our chances. I saw us at Solihull camping their half pretty much for 70 minutes. In fact, we battered them when it was 11 versus 11 before they went down to 10. So sometimes you've got to let your eyes tell you and not your ears. You know, people can blow in my ear all they like, but, you know, I know how to build football clubs. I know how to support dressing rooms. I know how to support managers. And as I say, there's not a lot wrong. You know, I defy anybody in the National League to be a club of our size and then lose your starting midfield 3, being Rico, Kieran and Corey Whiteley, and not struggle. I'm not taking anything away from the fact is we've only scored 7 goals. That's an issue which we have to address. But injuries do shape dressing rooms, and again, you know, injuries do affect confidence at times. But as I say, it's very easy to find the negatives in football. It's very easy to look at, you know, Twitter and that. I don't bother with that. I mean, you know, if there's any issues, I mean, normally you'll tell me. But I know, you know, with what we're doing, we've built a fantastic club. The ground's looking amazing. The pitch is incredible. We're about to announce some new contracts over the next few months, which I think is exciting. We've put a new planning application in on the north end of the ground, which is going to give our supporters a fantastic fan zone, we hope, with the council's blessing and support, and a new access road. And so there's lots and lots of things that we've quietly done. And again, I'm quietly confident, you know, that by Christmas, you know, a few wins on the board. Let's hope we put a great performance in at Canby, and you know, we nick the result that we yearn for. And if we can do that and pull someone big out of the hat, it just makes for a hugely exciting month in December until we, you know, and if we can get to the 3rd round for the first time in our history, you know, our season is just bubbling along nicely until January the 9th, and it'll give us a chance to put some points on the board in the league. So no, there's so much more to look at that in a positive light than a negative light. We're still here. We've come through a pandemic. You know, we've made sure all our ducks are in a row. We can pay our bills. The DCMS has, you know, has helped. Furlough's helped. I've helped, others have helped, and now it's for us to, you know, we've had no positive cases of coronavirus here, which is a huge, huge accolade to my safety team and the staff and the players for doing the things in the right way. And no, I'm really, really upbeat and positive. And so that for those, as I say, who may have a negative disposition or think that the world owes them a living, it doesn't. We're Boreham Football Club. We're probably the smallest team in the National League, and we're punching above our weight, and we're loving every minute of it.
In terms of the injured players you just mentioned there, in Mark Ricketts, Kieran Murta and Corey Whiteley, is there any update on when we may expect to see them back in the fold?
Yeah, Rico did his medial, so we wouldn't expect him to be back for Canvey, but he's coming along nicely. Kieran's back, Corey Whiteley will be back. So other than Mark Ricketts, we'll be going to Canvey with a strong 18-man squad, and Luke will have options once again. So no, we're very happy.
As we know, it's FA Cup weekend, second rounds. Not often we get to the second round of the FA Cup, but in a normal season, the town would be buzzing, the supporters would be buzzing, and realistically, we're probably taking 300, 400, 500 supporters to Canvey. Unfortunately, they can't be with us, but it's a game where if we play to our potential, then we should get the result. We as you say, we hope for, but it's the FA Cup and anything can happen.
Yeah, woulda, coulda, shoulda. It's going to be, you know, if we get beat, we get beat. We're never going to have a better chance. The players know that. You know, we can play everything down, and it's the FA Cup, and you know the cameras are there for a reason. The cameras go to see an upset. It's unusual for Bournemouth to be a favourite. So we know what we've got to do. Listen, for the last, I don't know how many years, you know, whether we were playing Whitehawk in the playoff final, Kingstonian in the playoff final, Fylde or Sutton in playoff games, Halifax. We've been to Wembley. We know how to play big games. You know, you go and see Blackpool in the FA Cup, our Southend. You know, although we're an underdog club, we know how to get ourselves over the line. That's going to be, we know what it's like. The Thames Estuary is on top of you. You know, it's not a 3 o'clock game down at Canvey. We're old friends. We're old adversaries. It's not our first time going there. As you well know, normally on a Saturday, you know, you want to go with the wind because the tide goes out and the wind dies at around about 4 o'clock. It's a night game. Cameras are there. I'm hoping, obviously, the town's all going to tune in to BT Sport. I'm hoping for Canvey and ourselves, you know, we pull a great big name out of the hat, because whether it's Canvey or ourselves, we've got 90 minutes to dream of being in the third round proper, and as always, may the best team win. They're a good set of people down there. They've always been great fans. People forget when I first took over here in 1999, my first ever FA Cup game was away at Canvey Island, and they thumped us 3-1. So that's sort of irony for you. And now, you know, 22 seasons later, we're playing Canvey for a place in the third round of the FA Cup, and so that's you know, that's really where we stand. This town, I'm sure, you know, if we can get through, and we've got crowds back in the ground, then, you know, I'm sure we can take, whether we're at home or away in the third round, if we manage to get there, you know, I'm sure we'll take the full contingent of support with us.
And with the game being played on the Monday night, as you said, our name, along with Canvey's, will be in the third round draw, and there is obviously the carrot of drawing out a top Premier League side. With the draw taking place before the game, if, for example, either Canvey or ourselves were to draw a big club, does that help or hinder the players knowing what's at the end of 90 minutes?
I don't think it matters. I think we go and get one early, settles nerves. Look, let's make no bones about it. We're a top national side. You know, we go in there, we're not going to go there in fear, Canvey Island. We're going to go there knowing what it is. It's an FA Cup, it's a winner-take-all game. As I say, we've been there many, many times over the years. This squad knows how to win football matches. It knows how to grind results out. You know, we just don't want a refereeing decision to decide it. We want it, you know, we just want to go there, do our jobs, and if we do our jobs, we'll be fine. If we don't, then we're going to get dumped out the FA Cup like many teams have in the past. But, you know, we're there on merit. We've had a bit of a sticky time in the league since beating Southend. But when I say a sticky time, we've lost one game to an 88th minute winner from Altrincham. We've been to Torquay with the league leaders by 6 points, I think, at the time. Drew 1-1, and perhaps we should have beaten. We went to Bromley, ground out a real hard-fought 1-1 draw. So we're not going to be facing anything that's better than the last three teams we've faced. But yeah, it's an FA Cup tie and anything can happen.
Fantastic. Thanks for talking to Stan, and good luck to yourself and the team on Monday.
Okay, and if I can just finish by saying it's very, very important that, you know, the town understands, you know, what we've been through, what we've come through. Hopefully we can have everyone back in the ground. It's important that we understand positivity is going to be so important to us all. You know, this has been as tough a time certainly that I've ever had here, and as I say, to have everybody back is my job, to keep them safe, to welcome them back, and we need them. But again, it has to be a limited crowd that we can deal with initially, and hopefully we do the town proud on Monday night, and we see everyone here against all the shot on the 12th, and hopefully we've done, as I say, we've done our job Monday, and we've drawn a biggie out of the hat. So no, thank you.